Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where in what seems like it's been a week of puzzles which have basically had a miracle type quality in the sense they've had absolutely no given information or very little indeed, this one really does seem to take the biscuit. There are no digits at all in this, and I've just read the rules, and these kropki dots are in fact ambiguous kropki dots, which is why someone has prepared this puzzle in orange for me. It's called Sunflower, and I believe that it was intended to be released on the fall equinox. It's by RockyRoer, the American maths teacher. And so we're a bit late. I think the 22nd of September was the fall equinox, and we're very late in fact. But never mind, I am going to be giving this a go. Once I knew I was giving it a go, I looked it up on Logic Masters Germany, and these were some of the comments that I found. Now the one that worries me here is this one by Henry Pie James, or Pajamas or something. I'm not sure how to say that, but it says, I'd really love to see Simon take a shot at this one, whether he can do it in under 90 minutes with his usual extensive amount of explaining included. Now I'm not sure if that's a slight barb at me for my extensive amount of explaining. I don't know, but it does make it seem like this video could be incredibly long. If it is, I apologise, but at least we will know I've solved it if you are seeing it. Now, do I have anything else to mention today? Not really, I don't think. Just a quick reminder that if you enjoy our Bubba Is You live streams, the next one will be next Monday evening, 10 o'clock UK time, and just basically a suggestion that you might very well enjoy this incredible series of puzzles that we've got over on Patreon at the moment. The October reward is a Lockout Lines puzzle pack stroke Sudoku hunt, which has been garnering incredible reviews from the relatively low number of people who've managed to solve it. We've probably had about 50 correct entries so far, and given how many people attempt those, which is in the thousands, that means that I believe especially the final puzzle by Maverick JD is proving very, very challenging indeed. So if you fancy a challenge, or if you just fancy fantastic Sudoku, get over there and have a go. Right, all that said and done, let's get on with this. If it could be a long video, I should stop wittering. We have got normal Sudoku rules apply. Cells separated by a knight's move in chess cannot contain the same digit. So let's remind ourselves what that rule means. Let's imagine the central square of the grid was a 1. Now, if it was a chess knight, it could jump to all of those cells. And therefore, in this puzzle, none of these cells could contain a 1, because if they did, cells separated by knight's move would have the same digit, and that's illegal, so don't do that. Now, digits in each cage sum to the same total, which must be deduced. So normally when we get this rule, it's not in a puzzle like this where there's nothing else. So we've just got a whole series of dominoes in this puzzle that we know add up to the same total. But I suppose minimum they could be, although I can see they're not this, the minimum they could be would be a 1 and a 2, which would add up to 3. The maximum would be an 8 and a 9, which would add up to 17. So there is quite a lot of flexibility about what the total is that each of these cages has to sum to. Now, one more rule. Cells separated by an orange dot contain digits that are either consecutive or in a 1-to-2 ratio, brackets, or both. Right, okay, so that's telling us that that's dealing with 1 and 2. So if, for example, this kropki dot here was a 1 and a 2, this would be in a 1-to-2 ratio, and these digits are consecutive. So that is presumably a permissible way of arranging one of these orange dots. So let's just go through the other ways. So let's say, imagine this was a 5. This square here could be a 4 or a 6 to be consecutive with 5. If this square is a 4, though, there are a multitude of options, which seems to be the case for this puzzle generally. This cell here could now either be 3, that's consecutive with 4, 5, that's consecutive with 4, 2, that's in a ratio of 1-to-2 with 4, or I suppose 8, which is also in a 1-to-2 ratio with 4. So there is basically... This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I do not know how we're going to solve this. Anyway, do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. Now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Well, the reason I could see it wasn't a 1 and a 2 as the total for each of these, well, you can see it very simply. If this was a 1 or a 2, there are 4 cells in box 6 that have to be 1s and 2s. So 8 and 9 can also be ruled out. Any total that can just be made in one way can be ruled out. So 16 can be ruled out. This would be 7, 9. That would break with these two squares as well. They'd both have to be 7, 9 as well. But rather annoyingly, 15 I think is possible, because 15 you can make it with 6, 9 or 7, 8. Let's look at the central column then. 6, 9 or 7, 8. So this could be 6, 9. This could be 7, 8. Yeah, and I think that still works with these horizontal ones as well. 6, 9, 7, 8. Then, yeah, effectively that could be a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple. Oh, no, hang on. The knight's move is going to come into it. I see. Right. No, that's not right. Let's just have a quick look at that. Because what I'm noticing now is that this cell... Oh, yes, in fact, this is important. Let's get rid of 6, 7, 8, 9. That's definitely not going to work. This square here, and by symmetry, this square here, this square here, and this square here, nori nori. But let's look at this square here. This, by knight's move, actually sees the entirety of the other 3 cages, because it sees those 2 by knight's move. So that means that this domino here, whatever this sums to, which is the same as what this, and this sum to, but you can't repeat this domino in any of these other 3 dominoes around the central box. So that presumably means there must be 4 ways of making... So whatever this total is, you have to have a totally different way of making it in this domino, a totally different way of making it in that domino, and a totally different way of making it in that domino. Because this logic that applies here obviously applies there as well. This cell here is ruled out of all of those other outlined blue cells. So this domino has to be different from its friends. This domino has to be different from its friends, because this has the same property and this has the same property. So there are at least, well, this is important. So there are, not only do we know that there are 4 ways, 4 different ways of making the total, whatever we are summing to, but we know that there's no number between 3 and 17 that you could make in a domino in 5 different ways. That's impossible. And in fact, I think we're only looking at 9, 10 and 11 as the possible sums of cages now. Because think about 12. 12 could be 3, 9, 4, 8 or 5, 7. There's no other way, because double 6 is not an option. 13 is 5, 8, 4, 9 or 6, 7. And 8 is only 2, 6, 1, 7 or 3, 5. So we are looking at either 9, 10 or 11, which I think are the only digits that have 4 ways of making their totals work. 10 or 11. And there is no digit that can be made 5 ways. And the reason that's interesting is that means that each... Yeah, we've got to colour, haven't we? We've got to colour. Because each of these is different, let's do this. Let's make that purple. That can be blue. That can be green. That can be orange. Those are going to be our colours. So what I was thinking was, if these are the 4 ways of making the total, whatever the total is, then I ought to be able to, for example, to colour this domino, because this can't be a different permutation. Let's imagine the digit we're heading to is 10. Then these one of these will be 4, 6, one of these will be 3, 7, one of them will be 2, 8, one of them will be 1, 9. But what's this one? Well, we know it's not some other permutation. It can't be double 5 or anything because there aren't 5 ways of making 10. So this ought to be colourable, and that should extend to every other domino in the puzzle. Oh. I am such a numpty. I've only just realised why this is called sunflower. It's because of that, isn't it? Sorry. It's called sunflower because basically it looks like a big flower, and I hadn't appreciated that until about 5 seconds ago. Right. So. Right. So the central cell of the grid is seeing 8 different digits. Because we know that each of these totals must be made in a different way. So if the total we're summing to is 9, these 4 dominoes sum to 36, and by the secret, this will be the 9th digit in the puzzle. Now we know that all 9 digits in a Sudoku, the numbers 1 to 9, sum to 45. So if the total we're heading to is 9, then this is in fact itself a 9. If it's 10, these 4 dominoes sum to 40, so this will be a 5. And if it's 11, these will sum to 44, and this will be a 1. So this is 1, 5, or 9. Now I suspect what we're going to have to do is use these kropki dots in some magical way. Yeah, now this... Yeah, because the other thing this puzzle has, I think, is rotational symmetry. So this, in fact, it's 90-degree rotational symmetry, which is... Yes, it is. It's 90-degree rotational symmetry. So this puzzle has uber symmetry, basically. And therefore, it's only going to be these kropki dots, which are not symmetrical, which are going to disambiguate everything. Well, I've said all this, but it's still fairly difficult to see. So can we colour more of these in? This one, yeah, so this one sees blue, definitely. Blue sees this domino. You can't have a blue cell in this domino. If this was green, this square would be impossible. So this is not blue and it's not green. It's either purple or it's orange. And presumably we can just, yeah, this is a weird puzzle because often we get 180-degree symmetry where we can apply the logic twice by, for example, now we know because the logic worked here that the logic should be analogous here, and we're going to get this domino with blue and green. But here we can actually do the logic 4 times because there's 90-degree rotational symmetry. So I can apply that logic here. This domino can't be green and it also can't be orange. So this is either purple or blue. And this, its equivalent is here, which must be yellow or orange. Now, what about this square? What about this one? So we don't know what this is. We know it's one of 2 things. This square sees blue because this square sees that square by knight's move, and this square sees this square by ordinary old Sudoku. So this is not blue. I was just about to say it can't be purple because this square sees both of those, but of course this might not be purple, this might be orange. So if this was orange, well, then it couldn't be orange, but it could still be purple. And there's nothing to prevent this being... Oh, yes, there is. It can't be green. Can't be green. Oh, no, it could be green because I don't know whether this is green. This could be blue. Oh, no. Oh, bobbins. No. All right, I don't know. I don't know if I know what this one is, and then I will use the logic, the symmetrical logic, in a very negative way by saying, which means I don't know what this is, or this is. Bother. And I have to check the pop filter on my microphone with all the plosives that we're going to be using. Now, so maybe, can I do something with this or this somehow? I don't know whether these are black or white kropki dots. How on earth is this puzzle solvable? How? It's ridiculous. There's just nothing here. I've got to actually... The only cell I know anything about is this one. This is a 1, 5 or a 9. Ah. Oh, of course. Well, not really of course, but I've just spotted something quite interesting about this square. And by symmetry, I'm going to get 4 interesting things as a result of this. I think we're going to have to colour this one in as well, actually. I'm going to give this one yellow. Now, where does this go in box 6? Well, by Sudoku, it can't go in these squares. By Knight's Move, it can't go in those squares. But we also know that it's not in a cage. This is the only uncaged digit, if you like. So it sits outside the machinations of cages. Therefore, it's not in those 3 squares. So I think it can only go in this cell in box 6. Now, the moment we do that, because of the symmetry, that should apply in box 8, box 4, and box 2 as well. Yes, it can't go in a cage. It goes here. Can't go in a cage, it goes here, and by symmetry I can put it there. So these yellow squares are all 1s, 5s or 9s, depending on what the total is we're heading towards in our cages. Yellow. Oh, right, no, we can go further. Yellow in box 1. Oh, I really like this, because when I get any deduction, I can just reapply it 4 times. So look, yellow in box 1 can't go in those 2 by Knight's Move. We know it's not a caged digit, so it must go there. And now I've just done that. That logic must be applicable in every other corner box, I think. We might be able to we can do this one by Sudoku. Look, yellow's got to be in one of these 3, but this one rules out those 2 because of the Knight's Move constraint, so that must be yellow. Ooh, I was about to say yellow. That's the first time we've managed to interfere with a kropki dot, so we're going to check that in a second. Yellow must be here by Sudoku. So that's all 9 yellows identified. Now, this square here is a 1, 5 or a 9. Now, if it's 1... Oh, no. Well, if it's 1, this has to be a 2. If it's 9, this has to be an 8. If this is 5, we are into consecutive territory, so this is an even digit. I presume this puzzle is not about parity, though. Surely not. No, well, if it is, I've got no clue why. Okay. This box here. Here's something interesting. Orange. Where does this cell go in box 8? Well, this is a bit... I'm not sure how interesting this is, but I think it is a bit interesting. Because orange in box 8, this cell is the one I'm interested in. It can't go in those 3. We know it's not in that cage, because that cage seems to be blue or green. Now, could this be orange? No. Well, in particular, could this cell be there? No, they're a Knight's Move apart. So actually, This is yellow, so that's not orange. I think orange has to go in one of those two. This is a nightmare to actually pencil mark though, because I don't want to do that, because that is really going to mislead me, because I know this is orange. I know one of these two is orange, but I don't know which one. So if I was to put orange in both of those, that's sort of negating the power of this orange, which I know absolutely to be orange. I could, or I might have to go to sort of 8 colour logic here, which is I'm loath to do immediately, especially as I've not done very much of the puzzle. But hang on, what we have learnt is there's definitely double orange in those squares. I've not got a clue what that means. I really haven't. I want it to somehow affect this kropki dot. I know that this isn't orange, but I think I already knew that. This is ridiculously difficult. How can we link this to the fact that we know there's an orange in one of those? Oh, is the point that this one can't be orange? Hang on, if you've got double orange in those 3 squares, that's not orange. Oh. Okay, well that's a little better. This one I now know is not orange, which I didn't know before that this one wasn't orange. And it can't be orange because there's definitely a double orange in this sequence of digits. But this one can't be purple because this square sees both purple squares. So this domino is not orange, it's not so this one's blue or green, and is the same. Is it the same as that one? Well, it's got the same options, but is it actually the same, or do we not know? Maybe we don't know. But that logic should be repeatable round the grid, shouldn't it? So the questions we ask are, this square, where does it go in box 4? Must be in one of those 2, which means this one is not purple. We know it's not blue because this square sees both blues. Yes, so we've got this domino here is green or orange. And the same can be said of this one, that must be purple or orange, and this one, which must be blue or purple. Okay, so now we've coloured all our dominoes. Well, in a way, we've got all of the peripheral dominoes, all of the sort of petals of the sunflower, into a choice of 2. And you can see as well, or can you? No, I was about to say something I think that would have been wrong. Certainly there's a relationship between these 2 in the sense that if this is orange, this is definitely green, because this will then, this square would see both oranges. So if this is orange, that's green, which means that couldn't be green. So that would become blue and be fixed. That would fix this one as purple. So this would be blue, this would be purple. No, I don't actually like that very much at all. I can't see that going any further. Okay, now I feel very stuck. I want to use this kropki dot, to be honest. I want to somehow figure out, because this is the only opportunity we've had to do anything with a kropki dot. Is there some reason that this square is restricted? I just don't think there is. I really don't. The place it feels to me like the kropki dots are going to be most useful is column 5, because I have 2 kropki dots. but I don't know. The problem here is that I know that these highlighted dominoes are some mishmash of purples and greens. Okay, so if you can see that if we knew what this was, I mean, if there was one green in here, this would become blue. It would really be very helpful. If there are no greens in here, this would be double purple. And that would resolve this. But if there's one green and one purple in here, this would be... Oh, is that possible even? If there's one green and one purple... Hang on. If this was a green and a purple, in some order, this would be blue, that would be purple, but if this was the purple, it would rule the purple out of that, and if that was the purple, it would see both purples. Ooh, here we go. Here we go. I'm going to double check this because I'm not sure this is correct, but what I was trying to think about is whether it's possible for this to be one of each colour. So we know that this domino is constructed entirely just from colouring of purples or green digits, but there are 4 of those digits. Now, what if one of them was selected from purple and one of them was selected from green? Then I think the puzzle's broken. And I hope it is broken, but I just want to double check this. If there is one green in here, this becomes blue. And if this is blue, this cannot be blue, because this cell sees both. So this would be purple. But if this is purple, I now can't put a purple digit at all in here, whichever way up it goes, because both of these digits see both of those digits because of the Knight's Move constraint. So that's correct, isn't it? This cannot be one of each digit. And therefore, what does that mean? Because I still don't know whether it's green or whether it's either green or purple, but it's entirely green or entirely purple. So if it was entirely green, this would be entirely blue, that would be entirely purple. This would be entirely purple, that would be entirely... It's really, really powerful. This would be entirely orange, and this would be entirely green. But if it's entirely purple, that would be blue, that would be green, and that would be orange, and that would be purple. So it just flicks round, so it's not actually resolvable. How long have I had? Gosh, I've nearly had half an hour. I've got nothing. I've got some colouring and a couple of pencil marks. Okay, so I know this is either purple or green. But there are 2 kropki dots in column 5. Right, so it's not 10. It's not 10, is it? Because 10, if 10 was the number we're heading for with each of the cages, then you can't make 10 with a black kropki dot. 3, 6 is not enough, 4, 8 is too many. So these would have to be consecutive kropki dots. But a thing about a white kropki dot is it always contains an even number and an odd number, and therefore it sums to an odd number. And 10, here is a knowledge bomb from Cracking the Cryptic, is not an odd number. So 10 is out. It's 9 or 11. 11. Oh, no, it's not 11. Oh, I see. This is ridiculous. Wow, it's not 11. Because 11 also is impossible with a black kropki dot. And therefore, you've got to have 2 ways of summing consecutive digits to the same number. Well, that does not work. You can use 5 and 6 to make one of them work, but there's no way you can make consecutive digits add up to 11 in another way. So the point is, I think, that one of these, the reason 9 is the correct answer is that 9 could be made with both a black and a white kropki dot, and therefore it sort of gets itself out of trouble. So one of these will be 3, 6, which is a black kropki dot. One of them will be 4, 5, which is a consecutive. And there are 2 ways of doing it. So these digits, which we still don't know the colouring of, are 3, 6 and 4, 5 in some order. So these digits are 1, 8 and 7, 2 in some order. And this digit is now a 9. Wow, well, there's our first. Oh, no, I was going to say there's our first digit, but no, there's 9 digits. We get straight away. Aha, now this one. Yes, 9 cannot be on a black kropki dot, so this must be a consecutive kropki dot. That's an 8. Oh, so the 8 is not orange now. This 8 sees both of those digits. So that is not a 1, 8. And this one is. So this colour is blue. Does that mean we know? We don't. I was about to say, does that mean we know this isn't blue? But we don't know this isn't blue because these 2 squares don't see each other. And these 2 squares also don't both see this way. This is so hard. It's so hard. Okay. So I know. I'm trying to work out what I do know. I'm getting a bit discombobulated about exactly what I know here. I know these squares are 3s, 4s, 5s and 6s, don't I? Because they must sort of map onto these 2 dominoes in column 5. But then, I've actually, if you look around the grid, I've got no dominoes that are sharing a purple and a green colouring. So I can't actually label any of these other dominoes 3, 4, 5, 6, and by symmetry I can then assert that I won't be able to find any orange and blue dominoes either. So each of these dominoes with the 2 colours is picking one from these 2 digits and one from these 2 digits. And therefore, if I was to pencil mark them, I would have an awful lot of digits in those dominoes. So it's going to be something like, I still quite like the idea of like this square having to be in one of, because there's definitely a virtual 2-7 pair now here. I just don't know whether it's that one or that one. Or maybe we've got to use another kropki dot. So these 2 are a bit suspicious, aren't they? They're sort of, they're not symmetrical, but they are sharing rows 1 and rows 2. Or this one, which, oh, if I knew where this digit went, if this was here, this would be, if this was here, this would be a 1 or an 8 on a kropki dot, where this couldn't be a 9. So if this was a 1 or an 8, this square here would be a 2, if this is a 1, or a 7. Oh, no. Oh, bother. No, that's wrong. Because if this was blue, it could be 8, and that would introduce the possibility it's a black kropki dot, and it could go 8, 4. Oh, good grief. So if this is blue, You've got to be careful as well, because some, I was wondering quickly there, I wouldn't use it necessarily, but about uniqueness. Could you have a 1/8 pair and a 1/8 pair here? But because of the knight's move constraint, you can get yourselves out of uniqueness issues that might otherwise exist. Yeah, okay. No, that's no good either. I thought I just spotted something, but I haven't at all. Oh no. Okay, I am absolutely perplexed as to what I'm meant to do now. What? I haven't got a clue. I have not got a clue. Oh no, that's rubbish. I was about to say something that would have been absolute. It's so hard. I keep scanning these. Like I just scanned them and thought, oh, these are both orange, and therefore where does orange go in box 5? And I was about to say, this square has to be orange, but it doesn't at all. Because there's no guarantee that both of these are orange. One of them could be purple and one of them could be green. Wow, I've got absolutely no clue how to do this. So, what do we do next? I feel like there must be a way of disambiguating the colours a bit more than we've done. But I don't know what that way is. So how do I do this? I'm really sorry if this is very much annoying for everybody. It's very frustrating for me because I just have not got a clue what it is I'm meant to be looking at here. I've not even got, to be honest, I've not really got any good ideas. I just had the horrible thought that this could be related to some sort of set thing, which on top of what we've done so far would be very mean indeed. I really hope it's not that. So how can we make more progress? What is it that we've got to consider? Is there something we can do with I really don't know. I really am absolutely bamboozled here. Do we know this 8? Is this doing something that I'm not appreciating? So 8 in this box is not in those squares. Oh yeah, 8's not here. So 8 is in one of 2 places in box 6. So if the 8 is here, this is a blue domino. If the 8 is here, yeah, we've not got kropki dots here. We've not got kropki dots, so there's nothing to. We haven't got the same logic we can do with these cells that we could do with those cells. So this is absolutely impossible. It's impossible. Do we know? Do we know anything helpful here? Is it possible? where does this digit go in box 5? The thing I was wondering there is if I put this digit in these two squares, in one of these two squares. Oh no, I was absolute. Well, if it was there, that would eliminate blue from green. Well, eliminate blue from both of these digits. This would become green. That would become orange. This would become purple. This would become green. No, I don't think this is the way to do it either. Oh no, I'm getting very, very badly stuck. What about this kropki dot again? Can we do more with this kropki dot? So we've got to figure out something useful about this kropki dot. What is that useful thing? One thing we might be able to think about, is it possible that I'm just wondering. I was wondering if I could force a blue into, well, either both of these squares or at least one of them. So is it possible to put two blues in these three cells here? Because if it's not possible to put both blues in column 6 in these three squares, there must be a blue in this domino, or two blues, and therefore that would resolve this. So can you put... Now what you can't do is put two blues in those squares. That's not going to work. Because obviously there are then three blues in box 5. So these two are not blues, which would mean if I am trying to put three blues in, this has to be blue. So if that's blue, is it possible for... If that's blue, it's the same as that. Which means this one would have to go here. Or this one would have to be the same as this. So is it possible now to put a second blue? I mean, well, we can rule this one out as being blue actually easily, can't we? Because you can't put 1-8 on a kropki dot, whether it's a consecutive kropki dot or a 1-2 kropki dot. So that's ruled out. So all I've got to be able to prove is that this cannot be blue. If this can't be blue, we have a deduction of value. Why can't this be blue? If it's blue, it's forcing purple there. Which, if this is blue, it's forcing purple here. This can't be blue. There would be a blue forced into this, so this would become a blue domino. So what's wrong with that? I can't see anything that's wrong with it, which is very frustrating. I think I've had about 10 minutes thinking about this position, and I just can't see a way of resolving it. So this is very, very frustrating. I don't want to give this one up though. I feel like I'm not that far away from figuring something out. I just have to I just have to manage to do something. Come on, Simon. Figure out something here. I've got to remember these are not real either. Is there some reason that this can't be blue? Come on. Does it do something to this box? Those couldn't be blue. Well, those couldn't be that digit. That digit couldn't go there or there. So it would have to go here. So these two digits would be the same. They would have to go there. Oh, and then they couldn't go in blue there. Whoa, that is impossible. That's very, very hard to see though. Let me see if there's a different way of doing that, because that's monstrously hard. So let me just double check it as well. So if I do try and put a blue digit in this square, neither of these can be blue because of the combination of knight's move and Sudoku. These two can't be blue by Sudoku. This can't be blue by Sudoku, by knight's move. We know that's not blue, that's not blue, that's not blue. So we have to go blue here, blue here. This has to be blue in row 4, and this square rules blue out of itself and breaks the puzzle. Wow, okay. So, I doubt I'm going to spot any easier way of doing this, but now I think I can apply the logic that I was looking at before. Let's double check that logic. What I was saying was, if both blues in column 6 were in these 3 squares, then I couldn't apply my trick down here. So, can both blues be here? We've proved these can't be a blue pair because these are on a kropki dot, and 1 and 8 are not separable by a kropki dot, either of a consecutive nature or of a 1-2 nature. These two can't be blue because this cell would have no fill. So the only other possibility were there, which is I've just ruled out as a possibility. So there must be a blue dot, not a blue dot, there must be at least one blue cell in this domino, and that means this cannot be a blue domino. So that's a green domino. That means this is not a green domino, so that means that one must be an orange domino, which means this one must be a purple domino, which means this one must be a blue domino. Which means that, well, it means that's an 8, because it's blue, and that's an 8, so that can't be an 8, so that's a 1. Ah, do we know what that is? No. Do we know what this one is? No. Oh, yes I do. I can do this one. I can't do that one, but I can do this one. Because, look at this box. Where does 1 go in this box now? 1 has to be in one of those 2 squares. So that means that there's basically a virtual blue pair in these 3 cells here. So this can't be blue, so that must become green. So that one now must become orange. Whoa, orange. That one now can't, this cell can't be orange, so that must become purple, and this one becomes blue. Ah, and that's great, because now we know that 8 must go here, because the 8 by knight's move can't go there. So this becomes a 1. 1 must move up here. Have we broken the back of this now? We might have done, you know. Okay. Have we done it? We've got a green domino here, so that's... Oh, I suppose what I can do now is I can go round the grid and label everything up. So greens and purples are 3s, 4s, 5s and 6s. Oranges are 2s and 7s. And blues are 1s and 8s. Which is great. So now these 3 squares here are a 1, 2, 7 triple, because one of these must be orange, because orange is not a 3, 4, 5 and 6. So now what have we got? Presumably we've got to sort of whittle our way towards, 8's maybe in the middle box. Ah, hang on, yeah, let me just look at that. 8's in the middle box. Have to be in this domino, I think. That means 8's in box 4. Have to be in one of these two squares. 1, oh no, 1 is not useful. Oh no, hang on, it is useful. This 1 is useful, isn't it? Now 1 has to be in one of these 3 squares in box 5, which means this has become a blue domino. So that's a 1-8 pair, and that, like, the corollary of that is that that's become a 2-7 pair, and that's orange. Right, okay, now so I should respect the fact I learnt about, I was about to say the rotational symmetry, but I'm not sure whether I can just use rotational symmetry to assume I know these 3 squares, for example, the way I do these 3, because these have been influenced by this kropki dot. Okay, let's fill in the rest of row 7. We've got 3's, 4's, 5's and 6's. We've also, yeah, okay, so we've also got something similar there, haven't we, in box 4. These squares have to be from 3, 4, 5 and 6, given the digits we've actually placed. So now I've got a 3, 4, 5, 6 quadruple in column 3. Ah, okay, now this square can't be blue because it sees both of those because of the knight's move. But we now know this square is either blue or orange, so this square is just orange, and that's either a 2 or a 7 then, which means the top and bottom of this column must both be blue. Wow. Wow. So does this, can I keep doing this logic? Will that work on these 3 squares as well? Yeah, it might do. I've got, or does it? Hang on. Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 7, 8 here. I don't think I know much more than that, but that does give me a 1, 2, 7, 8 quadruple, which means the rest of this row are 3's, 4's, 5's and 6's. And presumably, yes, this square sees both of those squares. So this square is not green and must be the purple version of 3, 4, 5 and 6, which means those 2 squares in the periphery of row 3 are green squares. And there's only one more column to do with that logic. These, yes, it's working again. 3's, 4's, 5's, 6's. So these 2 squares on the periphery have to be 2's and 7's and are orange. Now, do we know, is there anything more we can do to somehow colour these squares? This square can't be purple, so that square's green. So now this is a 1, 2, 7 or 8 and it's on a kropki dot. But we don't know the nature of the kropki dot. Oh dear. So maybe what we've got to do, I'm just looking at long row 4 now. So these 3 squares are, well, if this square is blue, which it could well be, it's got to be a 1 because it can't be an 8. If this square is not blue, it's got to be a 3, 4, 5 or 6. But I don't, it's not purple, so it would have to be a green. It would have to be a green cell. So this is 1, 3, 4, 5 or 6. And it's partnering up with a 7 or an... Oh no, you can... Oh no. Oh, you rotten thing. I don't actually think we can get rid of... Can we get rid of 8? No. I was about to... Oh, we can get rid of 8 here because I've got an 8 in the column. Does that mean I can get rid of 4? No, I can't get rid of 4 here because 2, 4 works on a black kropki dot. Ah! I can get rid of 5, can't I? 5 here doesn't work. 5 can't be on a black kropki dot, and it can't be consecutive with 1, 2, or 7. Yeah, okay, you can get rid of 5. You can get rid of 1 from this square. Oh! Yes, you can. You can get rid of 1 from this square, because this square cannot be a 2. And that's the only kropki relationship a 1 can be in. And if you get rid of 1 from this square, this is now a 2 or a 7, which is orange, which feels like a breakthrough of a sort. So now that's this square now has to be a 1 or an 8, and therefore that square is blue. So this square now, if this is a 2, this is a 1 or a 3. Oh no, I still don't think I can get rid of anything from this square. I don't know. I mean, somebody might be able to see how to do this. I'm sure many of you can, but I'm not spotting what I'm meant to do with this. Is this in some way helpful? This kropki dot has really underwhelmed me. It's been completely recalcitrant, and I don't understand what I'm meant to have appreciated about it. Does it matter that this... Oh, okay, now the fact that that is green, is it? Is that really green? Why am I convinced this is green? Why can't this be a 1? Why can't this be a 1? Because if that's a 2, why can't that be a 1? Why did I think this had to be a green digit? I'm losing my marbles here. I know in my brain I was absolutely convinced that this was green. But now I can't remember why I thought that, and that's really bugging me. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure why I thought that was green. This is orange, that's fine. Is there a reason that is there a good reason was I correct to think this was green? If that's green, these squares are going to form a 3, 4, 5, 6 triple, and this will be a 1 or an 8. And then I'll have a sort of deadly pattern on 1s and 8s, but that could be affected by, for example, resolving this digit, which will resolve my 1-8 deadly pattern. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think I better not assume that that's green, because I don't understand why. I was absolutely convinced in my brain that I may even have said why I thought it was green. But now, for the life of me, I can't think why it's green. So this kropki dot, which was underwhelming before, is now even more underwhelming, because I've even lost the ability to describe it as a green-orange pair. And that means I've not got my quadruple here. Oh. No. So what on earth am I meant to do next? It's heading up towards an hour. I mean, what was Henry Pyjama's comment? Something like, it might take me 90 minutes with my extensive explanations. Well, I'm not sure whether I'd take a 90-minute solve at the moment. I might do, because I might be about to get very stuck again. What do we do now? What do we do now? Oh, I know something I could do. I've got a green pair here. So that means those two squares must be a purple pair. So the only thing I can think is somehow we've got to use these kropki dots, which means I'm going to have to put a digit on these somehow. Is that an easy thing to do? I hear you say. The answer is, I don't know. I really don't know. Or is there something else we can do? So green. I really have not got a clue. Do we have to colour more? I'm wondering if we have to either colour the 1s and the 8s or the 2s and the 7s, because at least they are slightly more disambiguated. So that square, if that's whatever that is obviously not the same as that, so that would go here. The problem is that's going to run dry almost immediately, I think. So those three are the same. Twos and 7s, are they any better? So whatever this is the same as this. Okay, so that might be better because this one is therefore the same as this one, which is not the same as this one. So I think those three are the same digit. This one sees that one, so these 4 are the same digit. Let's actually highlight that just in case. Give it a black trim. So that means these 3 are the same. I'll give those a grey trim. Actually, I don't like that. I can't really see it very well. I'm going to give them a red trim. Now, can we extend that any further? Yeah, I can actually. I can. This box is interesting. Where does orange and red go in this box? In one of these 2x2 cells? Well, one of those must be the one with red trim. So I've not managed to put a 2, 7 in. Yeah, in fact, it's obvious. Once this is one, this is the other. So this square is a red trimmed square. Oh, lovely. Yeah, okay. Now I've got somewhere. Where does red trim go in box 7? It's got to go there. So this square we've learnt about. Is that useful? Yeah, actually, oh, I was about to say it is, but maybe it's not. Yeah, no, it is. Actually, it is. Where does red trim go in these 3 squares? One of these is a red trim square. It can't be there by night smooth, can't be there by night smooth. So that is a red trim square, which means that is a black trim square. Yeah, okay, and now in the central box of the grid, where does red trim go? It can't go there by Sudoku. Can't go in any of those, so that's also a red trim square. Now I've got a 2-7 pair here. Still not any closer to actually resolving any digits, I don't think. That square's now a 3, 4, 5 or 6. Right, I've now got a 2-7 pair in this column, so this square must be a 1. 1 we know is blue, so that becomes blue. This square must become a 2 or a 7, which is an orange and a black trim. This 1 sees that square, which now must be an 8, because it can't be the same as this 1. That means that's a 1, this is an 8, this is a 1, this is an 8, using just Sudoku logic. Where does 1 go now? In box 5, not there. So 1 goes here. Oh, yes! Finally! Finally, this thing comes into its own. So now this is blue, and that must be a 2 because it's on a kropki dot. So that's disambiguated my red flashes, look. Red flashes, oh, red flashes. Can I just click the ones with red flashes? I don't know how to do that. Maybe I've got to put it on colour first. No. Oh, well, anyway, these ones have all got to be 2s. And that means that the ones with the black flashes have all got to be 7s. And now, for my next trick, I will reveal the nature of... I don't know. Oh, if those are green, they must be the other ones. So they're purple and they're green. Is that useful? No. This must be green, green. That must be green. So that must be purple. I've got 2 purples now in this row. So I might be able to fully colour the sort of central string here, I think. Those 2 squares now. One of that's purple. That must be purple as well. So we have achieved a great deal of colouring. But we still haven't achieved a real breakthrough in terms of the solve, have we? 8. Ooh. 8 has to be on this. Oh! Yes. Yes, here is something interesting. 8 is on this kropki dot, and 7 and 9 are not on this kropki dot. So this is not a white kropki dot, it must be a black kropki dot, where the 8 must accompany a 4, and that removes 4 from those squares. Ah, now both purple digits don't include a 4. So given that purple is adding up to 9, it can't be the 4-5 version, so there must be the 3-6 version. So all purple gets reduced to 3 or 6, I think. I can see this is doing some things. I don't know whether it's doing enough, but it might be. This is 3, 6 now, so that's a 5. That must be a 4, because we know that green together adds up to 9. So all of green now becomes... Probably could do this by double clicking, but I can also do it like that. This 4 sees that square by knight's move, so that's a 5, that's a 4, 5, 4. That sees that by knight's move, so we can do those as well. That's got to be 5, 4, 5, 4. This one, come on. Bobbins. No, doesn't. I don't know if we can do that. What about those 2 squares then? They're a 1-2 pair, are they? Do we know the order? Yes, we do. That's got to be the 1, which is blue. And that's got to be a 2, which is... Oh, it's orange, but we do know the flashing, because we've already got the black flash here. So... Wow, okay, good. Have we now done it, or not? Come on, Simon. Think, man, think. 5 has to live on this kropki dot now. Ah, this is good. Yes, okay. Because now 5 can never go on a black kropki dot. 4 can't accompany the 5 on a consecutive kropki dot. So this must be a 5-6 pair. Which somehow isn't resolved, but that means those 2 squares are a 3-8 pair. And that is resolved by this 8 here. So that's a 3. That's an 8. Now 3 is purple. And 8 is blue, and therefore this is a blue 8, and that must be a 4, which we know to be green. That means this is a 4, this is a 5, this is a 5, this is a 6. 6 is purple, and that one's green. Okay, now, that 6 means that square's 3, so that square's 6, that sees that one by knight's move, so that's 3, 6, 3, 6, that sees that one by knight's move, 3, 6 go in, 3, 6, 3, 6. This 8 is seeing the 8 and the 1, so this column needs a 6, which must be at the bottom. That's lovely, that fixes all of these. Give that a purple. These 2 squares are a 1-7 pair, I can do that. That's got to be blue. 1, that's a 7, which is... Oh, that's a 7, which is the funny one. It's the orange with the black flash. This 2 is giving me 2 and 7. I think we're going to solve it. No jokes, please, about me only saying that when I've got 4 digits left. But this has been quite a difficult puzzle. I hope that you all agree that. Anyway, that one there's got to be a 7. Now, 3's got to go here, which means that's got to be purple. And these 2 squares are green, look, which ordinarily would look deadly, but here is not, because we've already resolved the greens. And that, I think, is the solution to this incredible puzzle. Let me just click tick, yes. I'm quite proud to have got through that. That's incredibly interesting and brutally difficult. The bit that I found the hardest was resolving this column and thinking about blues in those 3 squares. I think that was what I did, isn't it? And I managed to force there to be a blue in it. Oh, it was actually only in 1, not in 2 of these squares. And that allowed me to get the colouring of this and progress the solve. But that step was really tricky. So if anyone's come up or comes up with a more elegant way of doing that, I'd be very interested. I'm not saying my way wasn't elegant. It was quite elegant, actually. It resulted in a blue there and ruled out a blue from that domino. But there may have been an easier way. It's a fantastic puzzle. It is so ridiculously clever, as I think I said earlier, but to do this with no digits, ambiguous kropki dots, and a knight's move constraint, it's just wonderful. It really is. RockyRoer, take a bow. Simon Anthony, take a gin and tonic. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.